Yeah, Dr. Dre is in full effect, and I gotta tell y'all a little something. Eazy-E is down with us. MC Ring, you know he's down with us. DJ Yella is down with us. Arabian Prince, you know he's down with us. Tony A the Wizard is down with us. JJ Fag is down with us. Timmy T, you know he's down with us. DJ Pooh Boy is down with us. Toddy P and Spade, they're down with us. My boy Ice Cube, you know he's down with us. I like to mention, so pay attention to where I'm from, Compton, but the tapes are from the Roadium. My name is Dre, listen while I play. And by the way, I'm also down with NWA. Yo, Steve at the Roadium is down with us. Slanging funky tapes, it is a must. We're number one.
Tony A. Tony A. When you're ready, go.
Yo, welcome back everybody to Roadium Radio. This is episode 22. And before I announce my special guest today, actually I have two special guests. What I'm going to do, I need to make an announcement that soon we'll be setting up a Patreon account for those that want to contribute to Roadium Radio. It'll help support what we're doing, and also it'll help support the up-and-coming documentary that we're working on. Also, want to give a shout out to Aslan Nation for blessing us and hitting us on that super chat. He donated on that super chat. So those of you that also want to donate for meanwhile, you can hit us on that super chat. Also, I would like to promote, once again, I'm a firm believer in promoting yourself until it pays off. The Roadium MIXTAPE DOCUMIXERY, I will put it up against any West Coast hip hop documentary out right now. And it is based on Steve YANO, a Japanese vendor from the city of Whittier that is no longer with us. Also, you can, tomorrow you'll be able to get this podcast on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, and on Anchor as well. For those of you that are been DMing me, inboxing me, and been leaving comments on YouTube, you know, I don't look at YouTube comments anymore. Okay, it's just overwhelming. It's too many for me to answer. I told you guys that if you guys have a question, you guys have a suggestion, you guys want to send in music, or you guys want to recommend somebody to be on the show, go to roadiumradio@gmail.com and we'll get to it. But when you have about 200 songs to listen to, give me time to listen to them, and we'll get back to you at our earliest convenience. A lot of people constantly hitting me up, hey, I sent you my music. I'm not going to read those messages, dude. I've already said, give it to us at roadiumradio@gmail.com, and me or one of my team members will get back to you. But without further ado, let me go ahead and introduce my very special guest tonight. Luna, thank you for coming.
Hi.
Pleasure to meet you.
Yes, pleasure to meet you officially.
Yes. So before we get into our interview, how were your holidays? Let's start with Thanksgiving.
Oh, Thanksgiving, that was good.
It was good?
Thanksgiving was good. It's honestly not my favorite holiday. It's a little too much food, a little too much everything for me, but Christmas was really nice.
Okay, and what is your favorite holiday?
Oh, I love Christmas. I'm a December baby. I was born December 17th, so I'm all about Christmas, the month of December, all month long. It's like that's everything.
I was born in March, but I'm a Halloween guy. Halloween is like my shit.
Okay,
so
I love Halloween too.
Yeah. So you get a lot of presents, or?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I make sure that I get a birthday present and a Christmas present. None of that. Oh, here's one present for both. No, ever since I was really little, I've always got my birthday present and then my Christmas present. So
that's dope. That's
spoiled.
Dope. See, I'm the type of guy that ends up blowing like $2,500 in gifts and gets nothing. Seriously, you know, I told somebody at least give me a cup of noodles or something. You know?
A cup of noodles.
Something. So, in New Year's, did you end up performing anywhere? Did you end up going anywhere? What did you end up celebrating New Year's?
No, actually, my New Year's this year was really mellow.
Oh yeah.
This has been a really tough year. 2019 was really hard for me personally, just for like family, personal matters. So I was just kind of waiting for 2019 to end, and I just wanted to end it on a mellow, let me just be at home, journal, light my candles, sit with my crystals because I believe in all that stuff. And I just wanted a fresh start for 2020, and so far it's good.
Dope. Well, I'll tell you what I did. I had a great time in my living room watching the Dick Clark show. That's what I did.
All right, we must have like the same vibe that night.
For those that saw LL Cool J, he tore it up that night. I really had a good time doing that. And I had a little bit to drink. I usually like to drink and stay home. But other than that, let's begin where you began. Where were you raised at, originally raised at as a little girl?
Man, well, I was born in the Valley, the San Fernando Valley. So born and raised in San Fernando. When I was in junior high, my parents decided to move us to Santa Clarita. So I did my junior high to high school years out there in Santa Clarita.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's pretty much where I grew up. I still consider myself a Valley girl because all that time I was playing softball and my team was based in North Hollywood. So I was always in the Valley, everywhere from North Hollywood to San Fernando. Those are my
What
streets.
elementary did you attend in San Fernando?
Morningside Elementary School.
Really?
Yeah.
You know the reason why I like to touch on those things, because there are fans out there that really like to say, "Wow, I went there." You know, I I'll say my high school, and then I'll get people that will DM me and tell me, "Dude, that's my high school."
Where'd you go?
I went to Banning High School, like 2 blocks away from here.
Okay.
So actually, in the '80s, we were very well known for football, for a long time.
Did you play?
No. Long story why I didn't play, but I should have. And I'll tell you why I regret that, because that year that I didn't play, and I chose not to play because I was being a dumbass, we won a championship.
Oh.
So I have to live with that.
It's all right.
Yeah.
It's all right. Sports.
Right.
I can tell you a couple of sad sports stories too.
So you played softball as a little girl, or?
Yeah, I actually played softball most of my life. I played all the way until I was 21.
Really?
I got a scholarship to play at Long Island University. So
Did you go?
Yeah, I went, but I got hurt.
Oh, wow.
And so my season, my freshman year season ended after a shoulder surgery. So I had a second, and everyone thought that was going to be the surgery to fix things, and it didn't. So I ended up having to retire early just because I couldn't play physically. Yeah.
Wow.
It was sad.
I was going to ask you if you were any good, but obviously you got a scholarship to go.
I was good, but yeah.
What position?
I kind of played everywhere. I played second base. That was my main thing. I played a lot of third base too, which I'm like small and fast. Right. They tried to get me to play outfield in college, and I was okay at it. I am definitely better infielder.
Okay. And in Santa Clarita, what high school did you attend, you said?
Golden Valley.
Golden Valley.
Yes.
I like it.
Ghetto
I like
Valley
it
is what they used to call it back in the day. They used to call it Ghetto Valley.
Okay, Ghetto Valley.
Yeah,
okay.
it was the new school, and it was
okay.
More diverse than the other schools out in Santa Clarita, so it was Ghetto Valley.
Okay, now let me ask you this. Growing up at home with your mom and dad, what type of music would you say you were brought up with? Like, what would your father play? What would your mother play? What would you say you were raised with?
Oh, 80s music.
Really?
Yeah, 80s music for sure. My dad was, both my parents are very into music, and they listen to a lot of different types of music. They're not just one genre type of old school people or anything like that. They had me when they were really young, so they were still partying and all that when I was growing up, and they were really big into 80s music. Really? My dad would play Depeche Mode and The Cure, and then my mom would play Madonna. So I got both ends. I got the bands and the pop music, and
that's dope.
I mean, my dad listens to rancheras. Well, he listened to rancheras.
Right.
My mom will go and listen to disco. So I was everywhere when it came to music, yeah.
See, in the 80s, I have to say that's when I was mostly like from 85 on up. That's when I was DJing and I was playing everything you just mentioned.
Freestyle? Is that your thing?
Freestyle, yeah. Everything, you know. I always, because I get DJs today that ask me, "Hey, Tone, do you think that a DJ should play everything, or should he just stick to one genre?" See, back then, if you wanted to get hired as a mobile DJ, you had to play everything. And you had to know how to mix to keep the people dancing. You know, I got introduced to what we would call new wave back then, whether it be Depeche Mode, New Order, whether it be Duran Duran, and then you get into the disco where you have Lime, and then you have taps, and you know, all different types of music that, and I think that's what helped shape who I am, was all the different genres of music. Even though I love hip hop, but I love so much other music as well.
Right.
You know, but my dad was more like the romantic type of guy. He liked a lot of boleros or like a lot of love songs in
Yeah.
Spanish. So actually, my mother told me that that's how he won her over. He would sing to her, you know, but he would write songs to
He was
her.
a crooner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you get out of high school. So did you go immediately into college to start playing? So
Yeah.
there was no singing, none of that going on yet?
No, honestly, when I was in the 8th grade, I convinced my dad to get me a guitar for Christmas.
Okay.
And I wanted to learn how to play guitar.
Uh-huh.
But that was around the time, you know, like 12, 13. That's around the time where if you're playing a sport, you kind of have to decide. Well, you know, you coach football. The kids kind of decide, like, is this the sport I'm going to play? Is
Right.
this the path I'm going to take? And I had to make a decision.
Okay.
And at the time, softball seemed a lot more promising, and there was a lot more of a future in that for me.
Right.
And I had been doing it longer. So I kind of just did what the family thought I should do. And I played softball. I got my scholarship, went to school.
Okay.
And then actually when I got hurt out in college, that's when I got the opportunity to finally learn music.
Okay. Did you end up getting the guitar though?
I did get the guitar. I did take the lessons, but I took the lessons for like 6 months. And then it was around the 6 months and my dad was like, all right, you got to decide. We can only put
Okay.
you in one thing.
What do you think it was that inspired you to get a guitar? Why not a keyboard? Why not a drum set? What do you think it was about the guitar that?
I think, honestly, I always wanted to be the lead singer of a band.
Really? Even
Yeah.
since then?
I always wanted to be a Stevie Nicks or a Gwen Stefani,
Hell yeah.
the female front person of a mostly or all male band.
Wow.
I mean, Stevie Nicks had the keyboard player who was a female, but I mean, that was another mostly dude band.
Yeah.
And I really wanted that. Like in my head, like my dream is to have a band and it'd be Luna and the X's, and like my band is the X's.
Dope. That's really dope.
Yeah.
So you come back, you get hurt, you have a surgery, and what happens next now that you got introduced to music? How did that come about?
Actually, my college coaches sat me down and were like, "Hey, kid, you know we know you have a lot of heart and you know you have a lot of talent, but you keep hurting yourself. And like,
Wow.
if you want to go on and be a healthy adult, you have to stop playing." And so I was really depressed about it. It was like identity crisis, that whole NCAA commercial where only this percent of athletes go on to play, you know, like whatever they say. So I was like dealing with all that, and I just started reconnecting with writing songs. I was a creative writing major because I love to write. And, you know, I was writing poems and all sorts of things. And at that time, I had the opportunity to take new electives.
Okay.
And I was like, all right, I'm going to take this music class. How can I start doing music since softball's out?
Right.
Why not? I just felt like it was the universe telling me that wasn't my path. And it was time for me to open my eyes and have the courage to pursue what I've always really wanted to do, which deep down was always music. So I took classes, took a couple singing lessons, and was like, all right, I'm going to do this.
Wow, that's dope. I like that. I like it when a person has that I'm gonna go get it attitude. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing that I always tell my son, because my son wanted to DJ, wanted to produce, wanted to do so much, but he would hop around him, and I was like, look, mijo, check this out. You gotta have the want to. I can't give you that. You gotta have the want to. I always tell him that. And ever since I was a kid, I always had the want to accomplish, to do something. It was through music, you know. So you take these classes. Now, what was it like? Because I know when I first started doing the mixtapes that I was sharing with you before we went live, this guy Steve asked me one day, why don't you talk in the beginning of those mixtapes and just introduce yourself, say you're with Steve, and say you're at the Roadium swap meet and whatnot. So I tried it, but when he played it back, I couldn't stand my damn voice. I thought I sounded goofy. But now, when you first heard your voice, you know, because I know you practice, but when you actually hit record, whether it was a boombox, whether it was a radio or whatnot, what did you think when you heard back your voice?
The first time, I was like, wow, this is so cool. I was like, wow, I'm in a studio. Like my first class was a digital production class. So I was kind of going the producer route. I wanted to learn how to make my own beats and songs to sing to and to write to. And no one in the class ever wanted to be the singer. So I would always volunteer, like, why not? You know, this is what I want to do. And I ended up not learning anything about production because I was always the person in the studio singing and writing, and I would always have other people record me.
Right.
So at first it was really fun, and then I would say once I really got into it, it became annoying and a little scary, because then I started really hearing myself, and I started being critical and judgmental of how I sound, and that's when I realized that I needed to take some singing lessons to just learn what I'm doing. And I learned that the voice is a muscle, and I was able to apply a lot of what I learned from sports. Like, you know, you got to practice, it's a muscle, take care of yourself, stretch, do all these things. And I was able to apply all that stuff to learning music, and it came a lot easier for me than I expected it to. And that's what kind of gave me the hope, like, all right, you can do this. People aren't covering their ears when you play them your stuff. They actually have good things to say. So I was just determined to get better and better and better. And I always know I'm my biggest self-critic.
Right. Well, I'm the same way. You know, whenever I make a beat, of course, I use the drum machine. I used to use the drum machine called the SP1200. We had a floppy disk we used to put in. We only had like 10 seconds of sampling time, and I would always, you know, play around with the beat, the snare, the kick, the hat, the shaker, and then I would play it back. And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna listen to it tomorrow, because right now it sounds kind of whack. So I turned it off, and here's what I used to say. Okay, if I turn it on the next morning, if it still sounds whack, trash it. If I had a dope beat, okay, and I'm rocking to it, let me turn it off. When I turn it back on tomorrow, if it still hits me the same way that if I felt when I first created it, then it's a hit. And it did. The majority of the time, I'm like, this shit is fucking banging right here. But I was always my first worst critic, you know. And many times I tried to show people, like, what do you think? I wanted to get their opinion. The bad thing is that I was always showing wrong people, because they were stealing my fucking ideas, you know. So, you know,
shady people.
Yes, it's kind of like you writing a song and you sing it to somebody, and then a week later, one of your friends sings similar lyrics to it, and then they tell you, and here's how they kind of make it up. Well, you inspired me. And I'm like, no, you stole my shit. You know. So that's why I was very, very careful after a while who I showed. But other than that, so now. Did you have a good coach to bring that out of you?
Honestly, in college, no. I wish I had a better coach, but I think because I wasn't in the music program, they didn't take me as seriously. It was just an elective, like, oh, this is just an English major who wants to do something fun. So I didn't really get as much out of it as I would have hoped, but it did introduce me to vocal warm-ups and singing, and from then on I was really self-taught. I would just practice vocals all the time.
And about how old were you at this time?
Like college age, like barely 20.
Yeah.
My junior year I was like 20, 21.
You know,
so I was a little older.
Oh,
starting into music. I mean, a lot of the people who I was taking these classes with had been doing music their whole lives. So it was intimidating at first. I didn't know any chords. I didn't know music theory. These are all things that I had to teach myself over the years. And I'm not a pro in any of these things by any means. But now if I want to go home and I have an idea for a song, I can put the chords together, put the lyrics down, and then I send it to my amazing producer who is like my savior, because I'm like, here, this is my idea, now like what can we do with this?
That's good. You know, it's funny because when I was a youngster, I was a teenager, and I was blessed with the opportunity to sit into some of the Dr. Dre sessions, and we're talking about in the 80s. And he was recording this rapper named Eazy-E, you know. And I remember watching Eazy-E, and I'm watching Dr. Dre record it, do it again. And in my mind, I'm thinking to myself, it sounded good the first time, you know, but I didn't know what he was hearing. So one day he tells me like this, Eazy-E walks out of the room and he tells me, what do you think about his lyrics? And I said, I thought he was doing it fine. He said, no, I'm gonna have him do it all over again tomorrow. And I was like, but he already did a whole 16-bar verse, you know? And he was like, no, he said, let me tell you something. He said, when you work with me, you got to bring your A game. And that taught me right there, because many times when I worked with rappers, many of these guys would hold their paper like this, and I would catch them. I would close my eyes and I would listen to them, and I could hear them reading the lyrics. So I would stop them and I said, throw that paper away, go home, memorize them. Then when you come back, and you're gonna have your lyrics, and now you can add emphasis because you know your lyrics. So is it the same thing when it comes to singing? Do you already have your lyrics memorized, or do you read them yourself?
I prefer to have them memorized.
Okay.
I know it's different for everybody, but
Right.
for me personally, I tend to just have a better vocal delivery when I know what I'm singing.
Right.
And when I've rehearsed it, when I've practiced it, because then I'm not second guessing or trying to read my messy handwriting. Like, oh,
Right.
does that say fun or does that say sun? Like, what is that? Like, like I don't know. So there's a lot of beauty in the moment. I just wrote this. Let me record it stuff.
Right.
But I do personally, like, even if I do have that kind of first session, I do like to have a second session where I come in, re-sing things or practice, and then, like you said, come back the next day with
Yeah.
my lyrics memorized and a fresh delivery.
Yeah, you know what? I'm fortunate, like, again, to be able to sit in some of these guys that when they're recording vocals, because I get to learn. I'm more of a beat guy. I'm just the type of guy that once we lay down the beat, cool, I'm out. I'll see you guys later, especially if I sold the beat. But if I'm working with somebody and I'm trying to develop it and I'm trying to bring out the best in them, I'll have them do it over and over until I get out of them what I want to hear. Now, I'll tell you just a quick story on who taught me about vocals, and it was Tina Marie.
Really?
Yes, Tina
wow.
Marie.
That's honestly, that's an idol right there for me.
Yeah. And
I grew up listening to her music.
In 1997, I had the chance to work with her. May she rest in peace. And I remember all she asked me for was, can I get a green cup of tea? And I said, sure. So the vocal room was on the other side of the studio. So I punched her in and we were listening. She goes, okay, just go. So I'm recording her every time. She must have did that chorus about 20 times. And then I'm like, okay, we're good. You know, I thought we were done. And she says, no, I was just warming up. But I was like, okay, what am I going to do with, I have no more tracks. What am I going to do with this, you know? So my engineer goes, dude, you're going to have to get rid of some of those and let her do it over again. But I still have the song. It never came out. I actually still have the 2-inch reel, because we had to do it on reel to reel back then. I have it in the other room.
I would love to see that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Tina Marie's vocals. But she taught me, and then she came out and started telling me about laying down vocals, getting your best vocals out of a person. She was teaching me how to engineer, how to track, and even how to EQ vocals. So
I mean, us singers, we don't like to admit it, but we're very sensitive.
I know.
You know, and sometimes it's hard. I've worked with a lot of different engineers over the last couple years, and everyone has their own style. Everyone has their own way of communicating. But I definitely vibe best with the engineers that have vocal experience.
Yes.
Whether it's they've just been doing it for a long time and they know what they're looking for, or a lot of them are vocalists themselves.
Okay.
So they understand, like, all right, the importance of the enunciation of one word, or, you know, emphasizing this line and not that one, or, you know, falsettoing this word because it just gives it like that that the song needs.
Of course.
So I've had some situations where engineers tell me things and it just makes me feel insecure.
Yeah.
Where it's like, okay, you could have explained that in a nicer way.
And I'll be honest,
because now I'm like trying to hit this note and all I can think about is like that thing you told me not to do, and it's like, you know.
You know, it's funny because I've been guilty of getting into it with rappers. I'll be honest with you. But I've told them, look, dude, you're going to bring your A game. Here's the thing. We start recording at 7 o'clock. They show up about 9:30 with an entourage. Okay? They're high as hell, and they're walking with a 12-pack. These guys aren't ready to work, at least for me, you know. He gets in there. He's light. I can hear him lighting up the damn joint. I'm already getting pissed off. He's already getting under my skin already. And he drops a verse, and I don't like it. And I'm like, do it over again. He goes, well, what's wrong with that one? I said, I don't like it, dude. Do it over again. Do it again. Do it again. Do it again. Dude, it sounds good. And I said, dude, your voice ain't there, bro. Your voice sounds like shit. You know? See, I could talk like that to another male, but I wouldn't talk like that to another female.
Well, and here's the thing. Like, I don't say that because I'm a female.
I understand.
You know, like, because of sports, I have really tough, thick skin.
Right.
Like, there's not a lot of things that you can say to me that are going to make me cry, or you can't criticize my vocals any worse than I'm already criticizing them.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I know.
But like, I feel like there is a certain type of communication and etiquette that vocalist, whether it's a rapper or a singer or, you know, a band, and the engineer, like there just needs to be a lot of understanding.
Of course.
And I feel like a lot of the times these artists come into the studio and they think they know everything.
I know.
And like, if you're a vocalist, you should be taking care of your muscle. You wouldn't be smoking,
of course,
before you go in to sing, because that's just counterproductive. That'd be like, I don't even know, like not stretching before you run 10 miles.
Exactly.
You're just putting yourself in a bad situation.
I guarantee you got a bunch of rappers probably listening right now.
I know they're so mad at me right now.
Okay. Hey, you're being honest. So they better have thick skin.
I've been in the studio though with rappers, and most of my friends are rappers, and I love them all to death. But sometimes it's just like, dude, you can't perform like that. Like you just forgot your lyrics. Like that's like artist number one. Don't do like you know, like know your shit. Be professional.
Yes.
Take it seriously. And I don't know. Maybe it's that whole bedroom studio thing that just. I feel like there's a lot of professionalism in this career that is kind of being played down a little bit.
Yeah. I want us to press pause right there, and we're going to come right back. We're going to take a short break, and we're going to talk about your band. You're getting together with your band, you're recording, what you have going right now, and what can we expect from Luna in the future. Cool?
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Johnny Boy, you're going to go ahead and take us to a commercial. But once again, the Roadium Mixtape DOCUMIXERY, and for those that want to hit us on the Super Chat, go ahead and do that. It'll help us. Also, the Patreon will be up soon. If you want to contribute and donate to Roadium Radio and for the up-and-coming documentary that we'll be working on. Other than that, you can also get us at Spotify, Anchor, and Apple Podcast. And if I have any other... once again, send all your music to roadiumradio@gmail.com. We'll be back. And if you call somebody, text somebody, let them know that Luna and Dolly Girl are in the building. We'll be back soon.
Drop that. What? Bass.
I bet.
My name is the Croft, the CRAWFORD, the poet high C. Tony A, the wizard, just as cool as a visit. Picking out his tongue, stabbing pussy like a lizard. Ooh, so sorry, homie, I didn't mean to say that. Steve is in the house. Come on, won't you play that funky dope beat? You know you gotta throw me some Stanley ass Croft coming straight from the Roadium.
You are now about to witness
Tony A. Get funky.
Tell her where you from.
You don't think I'm living? Well, fuck you. Coolin' on a Saturday night in LA. Yo, feeling kinda fancy. Stop what you're doing, cause I'm about to ruin the image and the style that you used to. What the hell are you looking for? Can a young man make money anymore? Wear my jeans and like freaking on the floor? Or is it my job to make sure I'm poor? Disruption, disorder will nourish, not justify. Those that live at the FBI, look at mama's baby.
Check it out. This is MC Poncho on the MIC. Shout out to Tony A. the Wizard, Roadium Radio. You already know.
Hey, what up? It's your boy Mr. Shadow from San Diego, Killer Cow. Chilling out with my homeboy Tony A. the Wizard on Roadium Radio. You already know.
What up? This is Mr. Night Owl, and you're listening to Roadium Radio with the legendary Tony A. the motherfucking Wizard.
Yo, what's cracking? Nosotros somos Aqua y estamos aquí con Tony A. the Wizard. You know Roadium Radio, damn it. You know what it is.
Big G, Roadium Radio, Tony A. in full effect. Stay tuned, watch, listen. That's how we doing it over here.
What up? It's Mr. Soto. You guys are now in tune to Roadium Radio right here on Tony Vision on YouTube. Yep.
Yo, what up? This is Mellow Man Ace Padrino, and you tuned in to Roadium Radio with my man Tony A. Keep it locked.
What's up? This is Esther Dazzle, Spanish Fly, Harbor Area's finest. Tune in to Tony A on Roadium Radio.
Yo, what's up? This is Bozo, aka Emiliano. You tune into Roadium Radio on Tony Vision's YouTube channel. Let's get it.
Yo, what's cracking? It's your boy OG Arabian Prince from the world's most dangerous group, NWA. Sitting here with my boy Tony A. the Wizard on Roadium Radio.
What up, this is DJ Trick, Spanish Fly, and you're watching Tony A on the Roadium Radio Show.
Yo, what up? I'm out here. This Big Daddy Swoles. I'm jamming with my man, Tony A. the Wizard, out here on Roadium Radio. The podcast is Off the Hook. Check us out.
Yo, right about now, Dr. Dre is in effect. Cold tearing shit up with my man Steve at the Roadium swap meet. And we here to lay it on the line. To all them sucker niggas out there claiming our tapes and shit, we just got one thing to say.
Never catch you boy, your ass is mine. Never catch you boy, your ass is mine. Never catch you boy, your ass is mine. Yeah! Now my name is Dr. Dre. 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 Went to a party in West LA. Wanna learn a new dance, that's what you say. Well, here's a new dance that can't be matched. So just dance to the flow, do the cat. Here it come, here it come, here it kitty come, come. Here it come, here it come, here it kitty come, come.
Yo, welcome back to Roadium Radio episode 22, and I'm going to give a shout out to my boy Jason from the San Fernando Valley. He just texted me. Much love, much respect to him. Actually, you know what?
I want to say hi.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hi, Theo Jason.
Yeah. Say it again. Let the camera visit.
Hi, Theo Jason.
Yeah, and actually, he was one of the first guys to ever interview me. He reached out to me, and we had like a 2-hour interview there at his house. Yeah, it was a really good experience. Actually, I sat down on his barber chair, and he took a picture of me.
How
So,
cool! Yeah, he's got his podcast, and he's a record collector, so he's really
Big time
into the
record
music too.
collector.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's dope. So now you get into obviously singing. You're learning more. How did it come about with you forming your own band? Because obviously you have a band now.
Well, no, I don't have a band yet.
Okay.
I have two very good friends that are in a metal band called Mahaverta. And their names are Josan and Adonai, and they came out and performed with me at the Whisky A Go Go at my last show.
Okay.
So they came and they played the live music. They're not officially my band, but they're just two really good friends who came out and were like, we'll help you make this a live show like you've always wanted. So that's what we did.
Okay.
But the Luna and the X's band, that's a future goal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. now, let me ask you this: when you reached out to them, obviously you had songs already written. Okay, who was your producer, and how did you meet this producer friend that produced these songs of yours?
My producer is a very talented human by the name of Dead Friend. That's his producer name. And I met him at Producer Social, which is a company that I am a partial owner of and affiliated with. I was kind of talking to you about it before, but it's a monthly meetup for producers in the Los Angeles area. You can make any genre of music. If you're a music creator of any kind, we invite them to come out to this event and network, play music. It's somewhat of a showcase, somewhat of a workshop, and a networking party. And Dead Friend came out to one.
Okay.
And normally I'm like the social person at Producer Social. I'm the one in like saying hi to people and welcoming new people. But in this particular day he came, I had to work the bar. And I didn't get to go out and meet him. I just heard his music and I was like, wow, I would really love to work with this guy. And he left early, so I was really sad that I didn't get an opportunity to meet him. But we ended up connecting on Instagram somehow.
Okay.
And when my dad passed away last year, he reached out and was like, hey, hope everything's all right. That ended up being leading to a conversation about like, if you want to collab, let's do it. And I really wanted to work with him, so I made that happen. I was gonna do anything to meet that guy in the studio, and we clicked. And he's been my producer since. And he recorded and mixed and co-wrote all my songs.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we work very closely together on the entire project.
Okay, and how many songs did you guys come up with together?
I have a 5-track EP and then a single. So we did 6 songs together. We have a 7th in the works, and he's gonna help me produce my like entire album. So we'll be working together a lot more.
on this EP, did you guys use a lot of live instruments? Did he use a drum machine? Did you guys use a live drummer? What did you guys use?
No live instruments, unfortunately, but we would like to bring live instruments into everything we produce moving forward. Just after the Whisky A Go Go, our eyes were like, all right, there's so much more we can do with this project. So no live instruments yet, but we do plan on doing that in the future. And it's nice that I know guys in a band now who can just come in and like lay some stuff down whenever I need. But yeah, he mostly did everything in Ableton, and he's, he plays the keyboard, so he was able to put some things down on the keys, and he mostly just programs everything. But he's a singer-songwriter himself, a rapper, so he helped me co-write a lot of the lyrics and the songs, and he has a very good understanding of what sounds dope.
And were you happy the way you came out as far as your lyrics was concerned? Because I know some people are very critical. I could have done that better. The chorus could have been better. Were you happy overall?
Like I said, I'm my biggest self-critic. So looking back, there are a lot of things where I'm like, man, I wish I would have done this, or and actually my goal this year is to not say I wish I could have. So let me start 2020 by following my resolution. Next time, there are things that I would like to try and do better, or stylistic things that I'm not going to be so insecure about doing the next time around because I heard it on the EP and I'm like, oh, okay, it's not that bad. Like, oh, your falsetto is kind of cute. Use that more. Little things like that I'll definitely carry over. But this first EP was just a really big learning experience for me. And it was a long time coming, so I was just happy to do it.
Right. So this is actually your first project then?
This is my first complete project, yeah.
That's dope. Why EP? Why not an album?
I really wanted to just get myself out there first. I had been working towards being an artist for so long, and I didn't have any original music to perform for a long time. Or even show people. I was working with some not so great individuals in the very beginning, where we would start tracks and then they would never get finished. These were people who were like, yeah, I want to be an artist, but at the end of the day wouldn't put in the work. So it was a lot of trial and error. And then when I met Dead Friend, he matched my work ethic. He's super creative, he works fast, and we just had a lot of momentum. We busted out 5 songs, and I was like, all right, I personally needed that EP. That was my lifetime goal, was to have something to show people that this is what I can do. And that's what this EP was for me. It's called This Must Be Love. It's 5 songs. All 5 songs are very different, genre-wise, lyric-wise, all very different. I was just determined to show people how much I can do.
I think what's key is what you said. You said he matched your work ethic, and that's very, very important, because sometimes I thought I overworked because I was always dealing with people that, I'll be honest with you, just didn't want to do shit.
Yeah, exactly.
When I met my boy John, like, he totally matched and went over the top my work ethic. And I said, okay, this is why it's going to work. Sometimes you just meet guys and I'll tell them, look, I'm going to start working on a beat. You go ahead and write some lyrics or whatnot. Okay, cool. I'll call him a couple of days later. Hey, man, did you write anything? No. Oh, okay, I'll give you a couple of more days. And, he had the beat already. Let me know if you wrote anything. Oh, okay, cool. A couple of more days later. Nah, man. And then I come to find out that he was just on Instagram, just getting high and drinking beer and at the bars. And that's when I just, okay, I got to cut this freaking dude. Even though he might have been dope, but his work ethic's not there. And I can't beg somebody to have a good work ethic, if you will. You can't. They have to have it in them, But now, for those people that may be wondering, you brought it up, what type of genre would you consider it? I know you said it's a different mixture, but give us kind of a flavor of possibly what type of genres you dabbled in this EP?
Just broad terms, it's pop. I'm a pop artist. Some of the tracks are a little darker, so it kind of dabbles in the dark pop, hip hop type of spectrum of beats and just sound. Then I have some kind of pop rock songs that might kind of remind people of early Avril Lavigne a little bit, especially when you hear it live.
Right.
I kind of got Avril Lavigne vibes when I watched the videos back. I'm like, oh, okay, that has like a little indie rock vibe, but very electronic.
Okay.
It's definitely electronic. Got a little 80s vibes in there too, just because that's what I grew up listening to. So all my music I love synthesizers. I love little vocal chops and vocal samples. So you'll hear all that stuff in these songs.
Okay.
And there's a slower kind of ballady type song too. I don't necessarily call myself a rapper, but I can flow a little bit. So we got a little bit of that going in there too. It's just like I said, I was really determined to, one, do this project, and two, show everybody all the different sides of what I can do creatively as an artist and just talent-wise. I can do a lot of stuff. And I think it was more to show myself.
Right.
Look what you can do. So this project is my baby. I'm very happy with it, but I'm also really excited to take everything that I've learned from this project and keep it growing. And to really use this as the foundation. Like, this EP is the seed. Everything that comes out after this is you'll hear like, oh, that stems from this, that stems from that. This Must Be Love is really just my story.
Okay, and that's like, would you say the single?
So it's the title of the single, but it's also the title of the whole EP.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, where can people, if they want to listen to your music, find it at right now? So let's just say you tell them whether it be Spotify or whatnot, what platforms can they find it on?
Yeah, I'm everywhere on Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud for those people who listen to SoundCloud.
And do they look up just Luna?
Yeah, it's just Luna. Unfortunately, there's a lot of Lunas out there right now. And I'm trying to be the one that makes it. Right. So a lot of the times you have to search like Luna, This Must Be Love, and then I'll come up because there's just a lot of Lunas out there. But
Luna, This Must Be Love. Look
Luna,
it up on
This Must
Spotify,
Be Love.
on all the platforms. Now, because I remember you sent me a video of the Whisky A Go Go. Okay, and I know you already know the history, so we don't need to talk about the history of the Whisky A Go Go, because I performed there as well a couple of years back. I performed there, and I'll tell you why I wanted and needed to perform there, because I'm a huge, and my people that know me will probably don't know this about me, but I'm a huge Jim Morrison fan.
Okay.
Like, I love the fucking Doors. Like, there's probably nothing you can tell me that I don't know about Jim Morrison. I had an opportunity to meet Ray Manzarek actually a couple of years before he passed away. I met him through a old manager of mine that people may know him from Eazy-E, NWA. His name was Jerry Heller. And he was good friends with Ray Manzarek, and he actually introduced me to him. He was the keyboard player. And so I got to ask him some of my, Jim Morrison questions and stuff like that. And I asked him about the movie, if it was somewhat accurate. And he just said that, he goes, Jim Morrison, he drank a lot. Because, but in that movie, they made him look like he was just a flat out fucking drunk. Like, people were just throwing pills in his mouth. He goes, but yeah, he did get high. He goes, but it wasn't like that, But he told me other stories that I don't care to mention. But so when I found out that we were performing there, I was like, okay, I got to be there.
Yeah.
Then you sent me your video, and then I got to see the way you were dressed, which I thought was pretty dope. Now, who picks out, or did you pick out the style of how you're going to perform? Because I think you were wearing green. What were you? Were you wearing purple or something?
I was wearing like a purple. I don't even know what you would call it. I guess it's a kimono, a purple romper kimono.
What inspired that?
I always imagined myself on stage being somewhat of like a huge representation of all my favorite artists.
Okay.
And that's really hard to put together because my favorite artists are just so everywhere.
Yeah.
But But I really enjoy being sparkly and glittery. I know right now I'm wearing all black, but I'm like, either I'm wearing all black or I'm wearing like holographic colors and wigs and like crazy makeup and stuff. I really enjoy dressing up, and I really enjoy for my look to kind of represent who I am and how I feel that day, my music. I mean, that particular look was inspired by like a psychedelic Stevie Nicks is kind of what I was going for. It had the green hair, and I had, the kimono. It was like sparkly and
now
I don't know.
Green hair, was that a wig or was that your hair?
It was a wig. I had everybody fooled for a long time because I was wearing it like every day. I was just owning that wig. Like my manager calls that wig my bestie.
It looked real.
But I mean, I have very long natural hair, and I'm attached to it, so I don't want to ever like do anything to it. I actually, when I was the first time I ever dyed my hair, I was in the 4th grade, and I dyed it blue.
Oh, wow.
So I've always had crazy hair and always had crazy colors, but as I get older, I realize how like much damage that is for my actual hair. And I'm very holistic. I don't know, a lot of people don't really know this about me at first, but I'm very holistic, very natural. I don't really use any kind of chemicals. I don't really take any medications, like not even Advil, like nothing. I'm just very like I'm an herbalist, and I believe in like the little Mexican remedies for things.
Yeah, exactly.
So I decided Vicks, Ruda. Put some potatoes on your stomach when you got a flu, you'll feel better.
There you go. What about tequila shot?
Oh yeah.
Para la garganta.
Yeah. For everything.
Yes. So now, okay. Has anybody approached you as far as like, hey girl, let's put a band together. I'll be the drummer. And are you looking for anything like that right now?
Yes, I said, I really want to have a band. My goal is to be the lead singer of a band. I still want to play pop music, but you can go out there and you can catch Rihanna performing with a live band, and it sounds so incredible.
Okay.
Incredible.
Okay.
And I saw Kendrick Lamar perform with a live band, and that just blew my mind too. And it just reminds me that live bands can still be a thing in mainstream pop music, and I really want to bring that back.
Okay.
I really do.
Okay. The reason why I say that, because if there's anybody out there that knows how to play drums, lead guitar, or bass, or some dope keyboards, get at her.
But you have to have a strong work ethic, because I've tried to have bands before. I've tried to work with people before, and maybe I'm just crazy.
Right.
I always feel like I'm the crazy one, because I can be in the studio for 24 hours and things are still not right. I still want to fix stuff, and people will tap out. They're like, hey, it sounds fine. Like, I need to go home. And it's nice, because sometimes if you just left me in the studio all day, I would never finish anything. Oh, okay. I would just be in there like, no, it's not ready yet. It's not ready yet. But I do appreciate people who have strong work ethic and are down to put in the hours.
Okay. Now, as far as they can reach you on all platforms. My question was, what singers would you say today, possibly new artists, or maybe that's been out within the last 10 to 15 years, do you listen to as far as your type of genre of music?
Ooh,
do you have a big wide choice?
Choice? Okay. I have a wide choice. I love the artists that I love for different reasons. Okay. And I'm very much a student of all pop artists. I feel like I can learn something from anybody who's out there doing what I want to do. Okay. Whether it's their actual vocal talent, whether it's the songwriting, whether it's the branding, the fashion. I love different artists for different reasons. Mm-hmm. But I would say that right now, if you went to my Spotify, because that's the platform I use the most, I use Spotify, you'd probably see Banks. I don't know if you guys are familiar with her, but she's like a indie pop, dark pop singer-songwriter, and she's just a huge inspiration to me. Gwen Stefani. Of course. And original No Doubt, mostly. Yes. I love Gwen too, but No Doubt that was the first concert I ever went to. That's where I was like, all right, I want to be Gwen. Like, I need to be that person. So she's always on my rotation. I listen to a lot of Rihanna. Okay. She's a fave. Lady Gaga, Christina Aguilera. Ariana is one of my favorites right now, like in current music. She's super talented. Man, who else am I listening to right now? I like Halsey too.
Okay.
I like her beats and the dark pop vibe. I'm really into that. I listen to a lot of bands though too.
Okay.
Like Chase Atlantic. I don't know if you guys have heard of them, but it's like a somewhat of a hip hop inspired electronic band. The 1975. They kind of have like an 80s vibe, and I love that. As far as like producers, because I listen to everything, so I listen with a very open ear for a lot of stuff. It's hard to, that's always the hardest question for me.
I know.
It's always the hardest.
I mean, it would be like somebody saying, you know, what hip hop artists do you like? Obviously.
Everyone.
You know, now I wanted to ask you, when you performed at the Whisky, because to me, I thought that was a big deal. Okay, especially because I think I just barely met you on IG, and you were filming a video how like I'm at the Whisky A Go Go, so much history, you know, and I was like, wow, she's going to perform there. How was the response to your performance, to your music?
Man, that night is to this day the best night of my career, and possibly like top 3, if not number 1 best night of my life. I've performed at the Whisky twice. The one that you saw was my second performance.
Okay.
So when I first got invited to perform at the Whisky, I was the opener.
Okay.
I went on at 8 p.m. sharp, and there was no one there except for like my 5 friends.
Okay.
There was no one there. They kind of let people in halfway through my set, and it was a great experience. It was amazing. But you know, it's hard to play your songs and there no one be there. So it was just kind of like, all right, it is what it is.
Right.
I didn't really think too much would come after that. And then sure enough, 2 months later, I got an email and they were like, hey, we want you back. But this time you're going to play at 9:30. And I was like, okay, this is what we're talking about, 9:30. I remember getting off the stage at like 8:30, coming back downstairs and then seeing how many people were in the room at 9 o'clock. And I was like, all right, 9:30. Now this is an opportunity for me to like really do something. And it was amazing. I got the band together. We got the whole look together. I had a month and a half to practice, whereas the first time around, I only had like 6 days to get a show together. So there was a lot of preparation that went this last time around. And I think that preparation really showed for itself because the show turned out to be really good. I had a lot of people there to see me, and the response was so good that they basically replied to me the next day and were like, you can come back whenever you want.
Wow.
Like you did good. Everyone at the Whisky was complimenting me after, and I was just blown away because I was so nervous. There was so much preparation, so much anxiety, and not bad anxiety. I was just so anxious. Like I just wanted to do it.
Right.
I was like, all right, this is it. This is the championship. Like I'm in. I want to go, and I want to do this. And then when it was all said and done, it was just amazing. And then to get the response the next day, like you can come back whenever you want because you did so good. And it was life-changing. That moment, I was like, all right, this is what I'm born to do.
Awesome. Let me share something with you, because when I say we, like in the early 90s when I was DJing for DJ Quick, Second to None, AMG, and High C, it was 4 of us, or actually 5 of us together. We performed at certain nightclubs where there was really nobody there. There were East Coast artists, even though we had hit records on the radio, but the promoters go on first. There was maybe 20 people. And I remember we all got together and we would say a prayer, but we would always say this, it's dress rehearsal. Let's go out there and just give it all. Let's give those 20 people or whatever the best show. And the next day they would see us at a liquor store when we're leaving town. They would tell us, that shit was rocking, man. And that was our pay, if you will. Okay. I shared with you earlier that Queen was our label mates. They signed their last album to Hollywood Records, which was Disney. They had a record release party at the Queen Mary. I went and I got to meet everybody except, like I said, Freddie Mercury. He was pretty much a couple of months away from passing away. So I'm the type of guy that I like to ask questions. I love questions. So I went up to the guy, Brian. I don't remember his last name, but he was the guitarist, the lead guitarist for Queen. So I went up to him, and I was like 21 at the time, and I just asked him, hey man, you don't mind me asking you, how was Freddie? You know, I guess I was asking more like, how was he when you guys first met? How was he as an artist? And he kind of chuckled because my question was sounding kind of silly. He goes, I guess you're saying, how was he as a performer? And I was like, well, yeah, you know. And he said this. He goes, let me tell you something. He said, and I'm only telling you this because we're label mates. That's what he said. He said, Freddie, when we first performed with him, there was maybe 10 people there. He said, we had never performed with him, only practiced with him. He said, but when he performed as if there was 10,000 people in front of him. He goes, that guy gave it all he got. And I'll tell you what, when he told me that, it like gave me the chills. And I said, really? He goes, yes. He goes, so when we performed in front of 10,000 people, he was exactly the same way as it was when we only had 10 people. He never changed. He always gave it all he's got. So allow me to encourage you, even if there's 5, 10, 20 people, there might be that one person that may say, I came to see you. You know, I can get you signed, or I can help you, or I can point you in the right direction. But you got to give it all you got.
Yeah.
So
I agree, because I remember only seeing 5 people there, and it was kind of, I was kind of sad at first and then relieved. I was like, okay, this is my first time performing, so at least if I mess up, there's only 5 people here and they all know me. It's not gonna be that bad. But yeah, honestly, I think sports, I've learned so much from playing sports, but it's that whole, no matter what, give it all you got. And I strongly believe that mentality is what got me booked the second time around. I must have done something right for them to say, hey, we want you back.
Absolutely. Okay, well, right now I want to give you an opportunity to give a shout out to anybody you would like to give a shout out to. Or once again, if you're performing anywhere soon, maybe they can go see you. I encourage people to follow you, so when you put up updates, so whenever you're performing, they'll go and support. So that's what we're here for. I created this platform to shine light on up and coming artists. I know a lot of up and coming artists are constantly bombarding me with interview me. Look, I only interview twice a week, so everything's gonna have to take time. But once again, I want to thank you for coming. Thank you for blessing us and sharing with us your experiences, your music, and I wish you nothing but the best.
Thank you.
You know, so if there's anybody you want to shout out, maybe a producer, family, whatever.
Yes, I want to say thank you so much to my entire team, my manager Cassie, Lit TV, my producer, dead friend, my fabulous photographer who's actually here too, but you guys can't see him, Rick. And my family, oh my gosh, my family, I love you guys. It's been such a journey, because at first my family thought I was crazy for giving up sports and quitting my job and just all these things to pursue music. But you know, they are finally seeing what I'm trying to do, and their understanding and their support is just everything that I've needed to get to the next level. So thank you so much to my family. Oh man, my siblings. I love them to death.
Yes.
And we give each other so much shit, but just their support above anybody else, because we, you know, Mexican families, we like to tease and we're not always the nicest with our words. But their support and their love is the most inspiring thing. That, and you know, just my angel upstairs, my dad. Thank you.
Awesome. Okay, so just promise me one thing, that when you blow the hell up, you come back and give me another interview.
I will be back here. I love to support anybody who has supported me in the past. It's one of the big messages with my music, is to give back and to be the light that you wish to see in the world. And that means giving the love that you were given in the times when you needed it the most. Yes. So yeah, thank you so much for having me. I would love to be back when, you know, I'm big and famous.
Hell yeah.
And if you guys could, please check out my EP, This Must Be Love. It's on Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud, everywhere music is sold. Spotify is my favorite, so if you guys rock with Spotify, I highly recommend you check it there.
Last question. Any videos coming soon?
Yes. Lots of videos. Video content is my main focus for 2020, is to keep writing music, but also to start putting video content. Not all of the songs on my EP are out officially yet, but that's because I want to do some visual stuff to kind of coincide with the releases. And like I said, This Must Be Love is a story. It's my life story. And there's a concept to it, and visuals will definitely be coming to kind of share that.
And if anybody out there wants to help and support her putting together these visuals, get at her on her IG.
Yes.
And we'll go from there. So once again, thank you very much.
Yep.
Johnny Boy, we're going to go ahead and take a 5-minute break. Once again, I'd like to encourage everybody, the Roadium MIXTAPE DOCUMIXERY. You just heard from Luna. You can get at her on Instagram. I am Luna, if I'm correct.
I am Luna.
Yeah, I am
Cita. I am Lunacita. So Lunacita. Little moon for those of you who don't speak Spanish.
Yes. And we'll be back in about 5 minutes. And I'll tell you what, call somebody, text somebody, and even slap the hell out of somebody, because we're going to have Dolly in the building. So once again, Dolly is up next for the doubleheader. Take us away, Johnny Boy.
Thank you, guys.
About to cold tear shit up. Hey, yo, T, you got a level? B, hit record, man.
Get busy with Easy and Tony A on the 12 techniques. See?
Here's a little something by a nigga like me. They never should have been by saying from me.
Yo, this is your main ass man.
You don't like Tony A.
I'm rocking shit out of the Roadium. Let's do 1, 2, 1, 2. Right about now, you ain't trace the motherfucking.
Drop that, baby. Ice Cube getting dumb at the Roadium with the funky drum, and you know my man Steve can get some. With a fool like Tony A when he plays stupid dope shit by WA. You wanna spray? Dumb motherfuckers, no doubt. And sucker DJ, get the fuck out. Tony A.
What did you say your name? What did you say your name?
Tony A.
I have won 1 million battles.
Lights, cameras, action, sound. Give me that mic, I'm about to go down.
Thinking of a master plan.
This story's funny. I met this girl and she had money.
Just do 1, 2, 1, 2. Right about now, Easy E and Dr. Dre's in the motherfucking house.
Times are getting crazy, it's really hard to choose it. The Roadium's a spot to get funky, fresh music. Easy motherfucking E and my homeboy Dr. Dre. MC Ren is in effect, and you know we don't play. The Roadium is hitting, but you know you can't leave until you get a deaf ass tape from Steve. Oh Steve, oh Steve, oh Steve, just give me just one more tape. Oh Steve, oh Steve, oh Steve, just give me just one more tape. Oh Steve, oh Steve, oh Steve, just give me just one more tape. Oh Steve, oh Steve, oh Steve, just give me just one more tape.
Yeah, man, I came all the way down to the Roadium swap meet, man, to pick up one of them NWA tapes, man. And I talked to homeboy Steve down there, man, and he said I'm fresh out of tapes, man. How the fuck you fresh out of tapes, man? He said cause they selling like hotcakes and shit, man. That's my man going down. Hey, mom, what's for dinner?
Yo, everybody, once again, welcome back to Roadium Radio episode 22. We just finished interviewing a great artist by the name of Luna. Once again, you can get at her at on Instagram. But as promised, I have my good friend here in the building, and she just got back from Denver. And she flew in, so her arms are tired. So once again, Dolly Girl, how you doing? Good to see you.
What's good?
Good to see you.
In the building, finally.
Yes.
Made a touchdown.
Yeah, absolutely. Now let me ask you this: how were your holidays?
They were good. They went by really fast.
Really?
Really fast. It's because I stay so busy.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't even see them.
Okay.
I don't even see them, and we're like the type to be doing everything last minute, and it sucks because like Halloween's like my favorite, and I didn't do nothing this year, and it's killing me softly, but yeah. Like Christmas, actually, this year we put up the lights and everything on time. We usually do that like the week of.
Right. You see, I love Halloween, but I've been like Michael Myers for like the last 15 years. So
the same one.
Yeah, I need to switch it up. You know, I want it to be Chucky, but I'll be too tall to be Chucky. So Thanksgiving, everything was good.
Yeah, everything's good. We ate good. The family came, so we're blessed.
Christmas, you got a lot of gifts.
No, I'm older now, so this is not cracking like that no more. We gotta take care of the little ones now. We're blessed. And I got some pretty cool gifts, things that I wanted. So
you know, it's funny because back in the day we used to get cards. Now we just get a text message, maybe.
If that.
I know. You know what I hate when people put like MC, and I'm like, what the hell is that? Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Yeah.
Like you cannot write Merry Christmas.
They're that much in a hurry. Gotta go.
Yeah. Dude, so, anyways, so. Dolly Girl just got back. You rocked the show out in Denver. I saw you were with the NB Riders.
Yeah.
How did that go?
It went really well. And I've been to Denver a couple of times already. But this time was a little more different because, going with NB Riders and their family so much bigger. A lot of their fans are my fans, and they couldn't find me, which is kind of strange. And I get that a lot when I do shows with bigger artists. Yeah. Like, oh, you're still doing stuff. Like, oh, I didn't even notice that. So now they're all following me again and everything, which is cool. Like this is dope. Like, seeing everybody again, and especially a lot of people that I haven't seen in a long time. They came through and I remember them. So it was cool. It was a really good show. Nothing but love. They bought merch and talked about old times and everything. So it was cool. It was a really, really good show. Packed house. Nothing but love.
I like Denver, and I told you within the last 3 years I've been there 8 times. Yeah. But I like it. Other than the sushi spot that I like to go eat there off of 16th Street Mall, there really isn't too much for me to do out there because I almost feel like I'm trapped around mountains. Like I'm an alley boy.
Yeah, it's just completely
yes. I mean, because over here we have Magic Mountain, we have Disneyland, we Universal Studios.
Yeah, I didn't see all that.
Over there,
no, snow. A lot of snow. Yeah.
That's it. So let me ask you this, Dolly. For the people that may not know, for your fans, where were you raised at?
I was born and raised in Lincoln Heights. I went to school pretty much preschool, junior high, high school, everything there. I did leave for a while and went to Franklin in Highland Park for a little bit. Because I got kicked out of school, so they sent me there. And I didn't want to be at Franklin. It was cool because I made a lot of really good friends that I'm still friends with. So once that went wrong, I said, well, can I get one more chance in the LUSD because I don't want to go nowhere else.
Right.
I said, all right, one more chance. And I went to Lincoln, and by a hair, I barely made it, but I made it.
Really?
Yeah.
What elementary did you attend?
I went to, I actually went to a private school.
Okay.
Yeah, I went to Sacred Heart in Lincoln Heights. I was there for first to my 8th grade year.
Muy católica, right?
Yeah, right. Well, that's the problem because, see, I was there for my 8 years. I went my 9th grade year. My 9th grade year was not good. I couldn't do it. The 9th grade year, it was all girls. I couldn't do it. It was just too hard. There was too much drama. There was just too many fights. Yeah. it was really bad. Like I've never been in. It's bad enough when I'm like hanging out in a group of like 10 girls. This is a whole school full of women. They're just
right.
You know.
Right. Were you those,
so
one
I
of those type
couldn't do
of
that
girls?
no more.
Were you one of those type of girls that didn't like hanging around with girls?
No, the thing is, I did. I
Okay.
had homegirls. But then they started dropping like flies because they all started getting pregnant.
Okay, that happens.
So I knew their boyfriends, so I started hanging out with their boyfriends. They were my homies, and then I just hanged out with the homies, and that's how I went there.
Okay.
But it was crazy because seeing my homegirls getting pregnant actually kept me from getting pregnant. I was like, I'm cool, man. Ain't nobody else coming out no more. Ain't nobody doing nothing. I ain't trying to stay trapped at home. I'm straight.
Right. In high school at all, did you play any sports?
I did. Actually, I've been playing sports since I was a kid. Everything.
Like,
you name it.
name it. Soccer.
Everything.
Water polo.
Ice hockey. Hockey. Street
Really?
hockey. Track. Everything. Swimming. I did everything.
Wrestling?
Nope. I could take down a motherfucker if I have to.
Damn, do you guys hear that?
But no, I was really into sports, everything, and kind of a little bit like Luna's story. But with me, it was like I had, kind of like a scholarship coming my way. They were watching me. It was for basketball.
Okay.
I was supposed to play, but the night before I got into some trouble. I sprained my ankle and I couldn't play the next day when they were actually going to go watch me play basketball.
Yeah.
So that sucked. Because I never know what could have happened.
Right.
I decided to go and get into some trouble instead of being where I needed to be
Right.
at. And unfortunately, I lost that. And after that, I just pretty much didn't do anything anymore. After
Now, here's
that.
a big question. Did you graduate high school?
Yes, I did. That's what I'm saying. I barely made
For
it.
real? You did?
But let me tell you, it wasn't easy. I had to do night school, adult school, morning classes, after school classes, and micro school classes just because half the time I wasn't even there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. Yo era un burro, like, how we say. I never went to school because I was a video game kid.
Yeah.
I used to go to the liquor store and play video games, or I go to a friend's house or break into a house and get something to eat. I was just out on the damn streets. And a funny story is that I did so much that I literally forgot where my classes were.
Yeah, that did happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially
So-
with the switch up after going
Yeah,
back to school. You're
that's
just like, where
exactly
do you go?
what happened.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then
So
my parents got the phone calls. See, right now we don't get the phone calls. Everybody gets emails and stuff like that,
Right, right.
But, back then you had to rush home, get there before 4 o'clock, disconnect the phone so nobody would get it. And my mom's watching this, so she knows.
she's confessing, mama.
I know.
So now growing up, what type of music was played around your house? What did you grow up with?
Oh, I grew up. My mom and my dad played a lot of like K-Love. That's a station that's not even around anymore.
Wow, I haven't heard that one
Yeah,
in a long time.
and then the reason, it was just like Emmanuel, Pandora, like just the layback, los bookies and all that. And that music I call bag riding music because that's when you sit in the back seat as a kid listening to all these songs, And the things that my dad. He was very huge, well known in the East LA in the commerce community because he did a lot of video and photography, and so he worked at the what was it called? I think it's called La Casa de Mexico in East LA, and he did a lot of stuff for the community, and a lot of people so he knew radio stations and like everything. So as a kid, I was always there, with him, going to all these places, and back then they used to have you have to carry the VCR over your shoulder and the camera and all that. So I'd be holding the VCR for him while he's videotaping and stuff. And I got to meet a lot of celebrities in the Spanish community, and that was really fun. It was cool, and that kind of intrigued me into that. But he also pushed me into that because I remember since I was 3 years old, he would put me in front of the video camera and to get singing and stuff. And my dad would put me in all kinds of talent shows and everything.
Really?
I was in every talent show every school year, no matter what.
Like what kind of talent shows? Like
just dancing, singing, everything. He got me into all of that, and it was fun. And I got a lot of prizes and stuff like that. And so he was my main one that pushed me into that field.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and it was a blessing just to be around all that.
Yeah, that's dope. So now, hip hop, rap. What was your first inspiration? Who did you hear? Who encouraged you?
Easy, Queen Latifah.
Really?
All day. That's all I listened to. I listened to a lot of Queen Latifah, Digital Underground, MC Light. They were my main ones. And my dad was just like, what are you listening to? ¿Qué es eso? There she goes again. And he didn't understand nothing. They were spitting stuff, but he was just like, okay, well, whatever. And I I was really intrigued by that. And actually, the first Chicano rap group that I heard was Old Town Mafia and Spanish Fly.
Really?
And the thing is, like, I was just so lost in everything. Music was just music to me. I didn't really know information about people.
Right.
So I didn't even know, no disrespect, that there was even a Wilmington or anything area.
Yeah,
Even though I listened to Spanish Fly, I didn't know that where they were from. I mean, I heard the harbor area stuff that they were saying, but I didn't know like cities and everything in between. And it wasn't until like way later when I started getting more into the music. It's like, oh, okay, so now that's who, that's where they came from. But those were the first groups that I heard of.
And about how old were you around this time?
Maybe 16 already around that too.
Really?
Yeah, I was 16. Yeah.
I think when Eazy-E came out, NWA, everybody.
That's all I listened to. Also,
that shit spread like wildfire.
Oh yeah, really quick. I mean, that was definitely the direction Digital Underground took me with the Tupac and all that. And the big
I was fortunate enough, thanks to Steve YANO, that he got to take me to a couple of Eazy-E NWA concerts, so I got to see them in person.
That's dope.
Now let me tell you a quick Digital Underground story. Okay. 1992, San Francisco, we were at a convention called the Gavin Convention. Okay, for people that have had music out, you would go there because that's where your network, your label is the one that got you in. That's how you got into these conventions. And I've never met Shock G or none of those guys, So I'm leaving my hotel room. I'm the last guy to get out of my hotel room, and I see Shock G coming like this. So I see him, and I just turn around, and he goes, Tony A, and I turned around. And I turned around like this, just make sure there wasn't another Tony A behind me. And I said, you know me? Like, I was shocked because to me, that's fucking like, Shock G.
Yeah.
And he goes, yeah, man. He goes, Tony A. He goes, I love the way you did that song, Too Drunk to Fuck. You did a Froggy Style. He knew my songs. And I was like, the whole time I'm talking to him, I'm still telling him, you know who I am?
Yeah.
But a cool fucking dude. After we performed, we went to DJ Fuse, which was their DJ. Who eventually would become my label mate because him and Money B would have a group called Raw Fusion, and they would be signing to Hollywood Records. That was the day, 1992, I met Tupac. He was about 19 years old. Yeah, but he was a real quiet guy. Real quiet guy. It was funny because we all took a group picture, but he was the only one that didn't want to get into the picture. He just sat down.
You missed your picture with them.
Yeah, he had a Gumby hairstyle. He had a Digital Underground, like a mini trench coat, and he had his African medallions,
Yeah.
So really cool dude. But yeah, Shock G, Eazy-E. I remember when my mom first heard Eazy-E blasting in my room. She was like, "Bájale esa chingadera,"
My parents were cool, but actually my mom would just close the door. She wouldn't say nothing. She just closed the door. She let me be.
Now, around that time, were you already writing or?
No, nothing. I wasn't doing anything like that. I was just literally at 16. I kind of was already in the middle of the tagging scene already right there.
Okay.
And this is something a lot of people don't know, but my really closest friends, I actually picked up DJing for a little bit.
Really?
Because I went to a lot of backyard parties. A lot of house parties.
Right.
I mean, I pretty much ran house parties. I was part of a party crew called Metro Events. And when I met them, I saw how dope they were just putting these parties together and how they were just going in and out of these clubs. No one was paying. So I was like, I need to see what's up. So I climbed the ladder in my crew. I was up there with the top heads and we were doing all that. So I was going in and out of the arena on the right nights, okay?
Right.
On Friday nights, not the other nights. Getting in for free. We started just meeting people and everything. And I got into the whole DJing, house mixing stuff. I did it for maybe 8 months or so. I got the turntables and everything. So, when I would practice in my room, my dad would be like, "Ya estás practicando música de la lavadora," because tum 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 tum. So he would be like the washing machine music she's playing. But I did that for a little while, and I did get to play a couple gigs. And after that, I just left it because I just started the whole tagging scene just started turning into now more street. More hood affiliate stuff and everything.
Yeah. And now, what part of a tagging group were you from?
I was from a tag group called CMK in Highland Park. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So and there were a lot of my friends. That's actually the time when I was already going to Franklin High School in Northeast LA.
Yeah.
So that's when
it's funny because I met a guy one time because he asked me where I was from.
Yeah.
And I said, "Where were you from?" He goes, "I tag bang, fool."
Oh.
And I never heard that tag bang. But obviously it was real.
It did happen for a little bit, but a lot of OGs put a stop to it.
Right.
And that's when a lot of it started dying out and we had to transfer to another side.
Now, who would you say motivated you to actually you know what, I'm going to try to start writing some songs, some lyrics, some
That's
rapping?
funny. Well, okay, so what happened? So when the whole tagging thing stopped, and then I just started getting in trouble in the streets, I started to work at a stereo shop called Unique Stereo in Highland Park. My friend Nelson owns that shop, so he gave me a shop there, and I started, installation on, radio speakers. I just learned how to do the whole thing, so it was really dope. So I was able to do my own systems all the time.
Right.
And he used to be from a car club called Night Crowd, and that's when I kind of started picking up the whole lowrider thing, because he had lowriders, and learning how to do all this stuff. And then I was like, man, I want to get a lowrider. I want to get my own lowrider. I want to join. So that happened. I met some awesome people, and in the middle of all that, there was two of my homies named Mystic and Cyclone that were rapping. They were just doing their own thing, little beatbox thing in the living room. Right. And they're like, hey, we gotta get a homegirl one of these. Like do it, Dolly. And I was just like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Like just write something. I was like, and take it back a little bit. Just 3 days ago, my mom found like 6 books back to back, each page of diaries, of journals, of just writing and writing and writing. Because mind you, I'm also an only child. Right. So I didn't really open up to my parents a lot, and like my parents were always there, but they never really like the type to like come talk to me, let's sit down, It was just pretty much let her do her own thing, and so I invented through my journals, and I recently just found all those, so I was like, okay, let me see what's up. So I took the beat home, and I didn't even touch it, and right at that time, my father was very sick. So when he was in the hospital, I decided, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and write to it. And I wrote the song without the beat. I just remembered it. So I was in the hospital and I wrote to it. And then I went back to the homie's house. We recorded the song in the living room. And they gave me a burned CD with, the song. And I was like, dude, this song's so dope. Like, this is crazy. And I sound hella bad, like really bad. I still have it. Really? I'm so offbeat. I'm offbeat. I'm off key. I was like, so everything. Because I didn't even know what bars were or nothing. Right. So, but the cool thing was, 6 days before my dad passed away, when I came home that day, I played it for my dad, and he heard it, and he was just so excited. I was cussing everything there, but that didn't even matter to him. Right. He was just so happy to hear me on a disc, on something, yeah. On something, So that was so dope, And then unfortunately after that, I lost my dad, and something just told me, like, you know what, like let me just work on a couple of more, because I knew at that moment, if my dad were alive, I know hands down to this day he would have been my manager. Definitely would, because he knew all the plugs, all the people, everything. So I just kept going. I ran into this awesome homie named Daryl from Lindrum, and he just wanted to work, so he didn't charge me anything. So I would go and record and stuff like that. So that was pretty cool. The funny thing about that time was I was seeing this one guy, and he didn't want me rapping. So when he was to my ex, when he would drop me off at home, I would leave to go record at the studio. One day I told him, hey, guess what? I got a whole mixtape. Like, when the hell did you find time to rap? I'm like, when you told me I couldn't.
Wow. I like that.
I had to. I didn't know what else to do. This guy didn't let me do anything. Wow. And I really wanted to pursue
Shame on
that.
Those guys, man. I don't know that guy, but I know plenty of women that like, well, I want to work with you, Tony A, but my boyfriend's hella jealous and he doesn't like you. Believe me, I've gone through that plenty of times when women that were very, very talented, I'm like, and I don't want to be disrespectful, but I'm like, look, I ain't trying to hit, bro. I would tell him, you can come. Yeah. I just want to work with her. I think she's dope. Nah, I don't want her doing that. All right, cool. But, a lot of girls could have had promising careers if they just would have, not
stuck to it.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
If it's in your heart, you got to do what you got to do,
Yeah, I'm glad you did that. And about how old were you when you did this?
I was, okay, now we're around 22, around there. And then, so one of the songs that I did with Lindrum actually got picked up with one of my homies named Doughboy. Doughboy used to hang around a lot with Old Town Mafia. At that time, I was actually on and off hanging out with them at their shows and stuff like that, because I was a huge Slow Pain fan. So I was always there at their shows. I got to see Lil Demon and Seven and all of them working together. I was there when they were all together. Okay. So that was like the best time ever, and that was more inspiring. So I would be recording stuff. So that song got out there. Doughboy took it to this guy named Johnny Yu, who was starting a label called Thick Skin Entertainment. And Johnny was like, hey, have her come out and see if she wants to perform one of her songs. So that was my first time performing. I was like, oh, that's crazy. Yeah, let's go. So we went that night. I did the song. He's like, hey, let's have a meeting. I like the way you sound. I didn't know what we talking about. I know he wants to go meet at this restaurant. I'm just like, what the hell? I don't even leave the hood.
Right.
Like literally the only restaurant, and he was Jack in the Box around the corner from the house. Like I never left the hood. I was always in the hood. You know, I didn't know nothing else but that. So we're like, okay, cool. So we had a meeting. We're sitting there. They're talking. I'm not really understanding. I'm hearing the money part, but I'm not understanding anything else. Right. And he's just like, I want to do an album on you. I'm just like, well, Jay, I've never, I'm not a rapper. Like, I don't know. I don't even know where to start. And he didn't even say nothing. He just pulled out his checkbook, wrote me a check for $2,500, and he's just like, here you go. And I was like, I got you. and then at that time, I was just like, what? Like that? Like just to write some songs? Like $2,500? Like that's nothing. Let's do this. Like, why? You know, let's do it. So I did. I took the check. I ran with it. And I'll never forget this. He set me up to do my very first single with Tony G.
Wow.
Yes. I was like, this is awesome. Like Tony G was recording my very, very first like professional actual track. And I remember being at Tony's and he was just like, all right, you know, you do 3 verses and hooks. I'm like, I don't know what that is, Tony. Like, what are we doing here? You know, I was like, okay, sit down. We got to go over some things. So I sat down with him. He chopped it up. He says, okay, you know, this is a verse. There'll usually be 3 verses. They're gonna be this long. Their hook's gonna come down like this and that. He's like, you know, so okay. So I sat there with him. And literally in one shot, we did the whole song that day, and I wrote everything. And when I was about to record, Tony's just like, okay, so now that you're in the booth, you just be you, have fun. Don't worry that I recorded Eazy-E and Cube in that booth. And I was like, why'd you have to say that? Now you just got me nervous. Like, nah, that's competition, you know what I mean? Right. But I went in there and I knocked it out. And then my very first song was To Know Me Is To Love Me. And that's what I named the title to my album.
To Know Me Is To Love
Me, yeah. And it's funny because the reason I wanted to use that because I had seen it in a license plate frame with somebody that I was like on my way to Tony's, and I saw the license plate frame. To Know Me Is To Love Me, that's pretty dope. And so I kind of went off that concept, and that was the name of my first album.
Now, let me ask you this. As a female, writing lyrics, does that come easy for you?
Look, I've been in the game now for 16 years, and to this day for me, it hasn't, only because that was never my structure. Okay. You know, that wasn't my structure. I'm very humble. I'm very like the music career is not my first priority. Yeah. Because I've just always been very spontaneous, and I like to try, you know, go everywhere and try stuff, you know. And I like now when I do, I feel like I still need like the little extra time. Okay. Especially because I feel that my mind is very cluttered because I do so much. Yeah. So I really have to mindset myself, really ease to the point where it's okay, I need to clear up and be like, okay, what am I going to write about? What am I do? Make sure no distractions. And when I get really into it, it comes to me. I really have to put like a setback because it goes to me like nothing. But I still feel to this day, I think of all the songs that I've done, I feel like there still could have been, I could have fixed something. I could have done something better, you know. And then mind you too, everything that I done, I never had any direction with it. Right. It's like literally a blessing in disguise for me. Right. How I did. I look back, I'm like, man, I got 13 albums, 15 albums, and how the hell did I do that? Right. Like, I don't even know how the hell I put that together. Yeah. And even to this day, when I do a song, I'm like, oh my God, did you hear that bar? That was sick. You know, I still surprise myself.
So,
you know?
Tony G was, if you will, your first producer you worked with?
Mm-hmm. Very first one.
That's awesome. Now, I'm going to say something, but I don't want the audience to hear. Tony G. Okay, so now you know. Okay, for people that don't know who Tony G is just to name 2 songs, the producer of La Raza and Mentirosa for Mellow Mayonnaise, Kid Frost. 2 gigantic hits that opened the doors for many of us Latinos in this rap game, period. Yeah. You know, and hopefully we get to chop it up and discuss that because I have a lot of good questions. I mean, Tony I have 2 idols when it comes to DJing: Joe Cooley, Roadium Joe Cooley, and Tony G. I got to know Joe Cooley very, very well since I've been at high school, and a teenager. And Tony G, I only got to see him here and there but Tony G was definitely one of my DJ idols.
Yeah,
you know?
no, he was awesome. And it was awesome because he showed me so much that to this day. He still shows me a lot of love. And if I need to ever go in and sit down with him, he's there for me. And that, like I always told you, like he's like a godfather because he is like you know, like family and producer and everything, you know. And he also looked down on me when he used to be on Power 106 and he had a show. He invited me in, so I had the pleasure of being interviewed by him and Greg Mack.
Wow!
And so that was like the just awesome because Greg Mack even to this day still like shows me mad love to this day, and I think everybody who's actually been in my journey has been awesome.
Yeah.
You know, I've had a couple of people like that whatever fell off, and I'm glad they did. That you know whatever. Like, I have to look, man. This game has been very ugly to me.
Yes.
Very ugly, disappointing, ugly, backstabbing, everything you could say, but not enough to where I don't want to be here still.
Right.
It hasn't hurt me that much. Like I'm still here, and I know my music ain't for everybody. I'm not lyricist. I'm not a freestyler. I write everything, you know.
Right.
And I've also worked with people who've written some songs for me. You know, I write all my own stuff, but I have a couple like maybe out of 170 something songs. I wrote like 3 people wrote some songs for me, you know. But it's cool though. I like doing that. I like working with people like that because it's just something new that I wasn't thinking in the box, you know.
Right.
So I'm always open to work with writers and all that. So
dope.
Yeah.
Okay, well I want you to hold that thought because we're gonna come back.
For sure.
We're gonna take a little break, and I want you could not babasit that modelo. And
yes,
drink
it's getting hot.
Yes, it's getting hot. It's getting hot in here. So once again, we're gonna take a break. Episode 22, Roadium Radio. We're in the building with Luna and with Dolly Girl. And call somebody, text somebody. We're going to come right back. I got some interesting questions to ask her because the number one question that everybody wants to know or everybody has a different opinion on will be asked next. So stay tuned. John, take us away. So.
What up, West Coast and all hip-hop fans? This is your girl, Violet Brown, and I'm here with Tony A. the Wizard. And if you're rolling with us right now, that means that you love West Coast hip-hop. And if you want to know the real deal from the real players, the real people behind the scenes, you better pick up Tony's new film, Roadium Mixtape DOCUMIXERY. You get it by going to DOCUMIXERY.com. You better get this, and I want to do a special shout out and a rest in peace to my man Steve YANO. I'm out.
Yo, welcome back to Roadium Radio, episode 22. We're back in the building with Dolly Girl. And once again, for those of you that want to hit us on the super chat, go ahead and whatever donation you make, we greatly appreciate it. And once again, we're going to be setting up a page, Patreon page, where you'll be able to give a contribution to Roadium Radio and also to the documentary that we're also working on right now. But for now, you can hit us up on that super chat. I really appreciate it. But Dolly Girl, we're going to touch on something really quick that somebody said about the fat comment. What was that about?
Oh, look, you know what? It's so funny. Like, okay, somebody said that I might sneak in tortas to a movie theater. I'm not gonna lie. If there's a chance for me to sneak in a torta, I'm gonna do it.
I'm gonna do it. Exactly.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna bring all my snacks and shit. You know what I mean? Like, what the hell? Why not?
Hell yeah.
But you know what? Like honestly, it's cool. It is what it is. And honestly, a lot of people always ask me, like, damn, you know, you gain a lot of weight. It's not. But I mean, let's go back to where I was talking about how hard this game's been. It got to a point, unfortunately, where I just really felt like giving up. And I just didn't want to do it anymore. And my depression became food. Literally, straight up. I put up a YouTube about it too. Literally, I was like, why couldn't I be one of those girls that just gets depressed and doesn't eat shit? Like, I literally turned to food. I was just so fucking fucked over this game and people and everything was irritating me. Like, I literally ate when I was supposed to. I overate. I ate more than I had to. Since I wasn't even hungry, and I'm just like eating, and it was to a point where it hit me when I started crying. I started crying when I was eating. I was like, okay, this shit's gotta stop. And like, it's crazy because I went so high, I didn't even know. I was almost at 270. I already dropped like 25. I'm down 25 pounds now. I'm at 250, 249 or something like that. So I'm getting back to where I belong because I need to be healthy because I have a son. And you know what I mean? I hear everybody being diabetic now and everybody's doing insulin and I mean all my friends are like that and it's just like it's terrible and luckily I'm good, I'm healthy, I don't have to worry about all the stuff and stuff like that. But yeah, that was the reason why I gained weight. So everybody's like watching right now, I was like, whoa, what happened to her? That's what happened. If you want to hear the whole story, go to my YouTube and I'm telling the whole story right there. So like I say, reality check. I say, you know what, shake it off. I gotta get back where I need to be at. I just health wise, because other than that, I ain't tripping. Like, food has never bothered me.
That's dope. So what were you eating? Like tacos asada?
Dude, I was eating like everything. Like, I don't even remember. Sometimes I was just so like out of it. I didn't even know. I just ordered whatever, you know. It happened, and it's crazy because I've heard of stuff like that, but I didn't think that actually could happen.
Right.
Until it happened to me, and I was just like, whoa, this is pretty serious. Like, dude, like I had no control. Like, no control at all. And you know, like I said, once I have my kid now, it's like, okay, so I gotta bring it back down. And a lot of girls actually hit me up too, you know that sometimes they feel not how can you say, good about themselves and stuff like that. I got a lot of homies that hit me up and homegirls about bullying and stuff like that. So it's like, I tell everybody, if I'm telling everybody, shake it off, get on your feet, don't worry about this. And it's like, you know, I gotta listen to myself too.
Right.
I gotta listen to myself too, and I gotta make it happen. So we back on that. And then a lot of you guys who say these comments to me, you guys know you guys are my friends now. So that's what the funny part is. I mean, a lot of haters that talk all kinds of shit, and next thing you know, we're hella cool and shit. I'm like, all right, cool, you know, we're good.
That'll work.
It doesn't bother me. Keep the hate coming, talk your shit. It's not a thing.
Yeah, they're gonna do it anyway.
It's love all the way around, so I'm not tripping.
Okay, so here's the question that I've been asking several Chicano rappers. Okay. And you give me your best take on it, because everybody's is different, and I appreciate everybody's answers.
Yeah.
What is Chicano rap?
First thought that comes into my head as Chicano rap is hood music, gang music, like literally just straight hood vibe, and it's not even about the clubs and all that you see now. It's not about clubs and Gucci and all that. I personally, I've never owned any of that stuff.
Okay.
I've always been a swap meet girl.
I was raised in the swap meet too.
You know, everything, my quartet, like back in the days, I would dress pretty hardcore. I would literally dress just like the homies. But, you know, I'm a female, so I did my hair, I did my makeup, got my nails done, my jewelry. You know, like I was flossing, but I look better than the homies did in their clothes. I just did.
Period.
But that's what it is. It's straight. It's just hood, street, real shit. No fucks given. And this is where I'm from. And you like it, and you don't. We're gonna handle. And it kind of gets a little, you know, kind of a little out of the music sometimes.
Right.
Lately I haven't been hearing it like that anymore. I've been hearing a
Right.
lot of more homies representing their hood and putting down for their thing, and it's been cool. Like that's dope because that's I like bumping, you know, Chicano rap music like that. I like bumping anybody that wants about hood and all that stuff. That's where I came from. That's what I know, you know, and so that's what I see. It's just I really wish, you know, radio would give us that kind of love, you know.
Right.
But at the same time, I also know, you know, I see it like this too. There's a lot of kids out there. They probably, you know, kids don't even hear it. But a lot of this music nowadays are saying way worse stuff than just hood shit.
Right.
And they're getting away with it. And you got all these 12, 13-year-olds acting like they know they flipping and dosing and all this shit. And they don't have a clue what the hell they're saying, you know?
Right.
But yeah, that's what Chicano rap is to me. I think it's just straight hood shit.
Would you consider your music Chicano rap?
When I first came out, yeah, because I didn't know nothing else.
Okay.
I didn't know nothing else but hood shit. So literally all my songs are like that. I think there was maybe one song where I kind of got a little lovey-dovey on it, and I still sounded fake as fuck because I'm not even in love. I just tried to do a love song that I tried to do it at the time and it just wasn't working. But as I grew older and I learned the structure and I used my poetry and how much I write to do this, it's just gotten a whole lot easier. Right now, to me, I think my music is more based out of hustle. Don't take shit too seriously. Have fun with it. You know, family first. Make sure you take care of yourself first. And run with it. I mean, yeah, I still throw a little hood shit in there too, because that's a part of me, you know?
Right.
So, but I just try my hardest not to sound too negative on it. But then again, at the same time, like, well, what is negative now? Because I hear my shit, like, dude, my shit's not even that bad. Like, compared to a lot of the people who say shit, like, my shit's not even that bad. Like, let me just try to say whatever, you know.
Right.
The top of the dome, you know.
Here's another question. When you first started, you first recorded your first single, how soon after that did you start performing?
Right away. Because at that time, I was not the first Chicano rapper, but I was the first solo Chicano rapper in 10 years since JV.
Right.
So there was All Eyes on Me. That was in 2004. So it was All Eyes on Me, and I was just being invited everywhere. And I got to meet so many awesome people. I mean, it was dope. My first album, I got to work with DOUX too. He's on my album.
Right.
JV's on my album. Like, I looked up to her so much. I actually, I told her, I did a talent show with her song Neighborhood Queen a while back, and I dressed like her and everything when I was younger for the song. So that was cool. She had a laugh about that so much, but it was cool. I got to, you know, work with her, and I worked with Light Brown. That's when I worked with Little Blackie, and I can't remember how many. I mean, there's so many good people on my first album. And Sal Capone also got on it, and that was dope. That was really dope.
So now you perform. How were you when they give you the mics to go out there?
I did the Eminem move. I threw up that day.
Really?
I got so nervous because I wasn't doing the talent show. I was literally going to perform my own damn song.
Right.
I was like, this is my song. And my nerves were just like, so when I'm about to go, I was like, yeah, hold up. I'll be right back. I'll be right back, because my nerves just got really like, I couldn't do it. But then after that, I got out there, did my thing, I got into it, and I didn't want to get off the stage after that. I was like, this is so dope. I need to keep doing this. Yeah.
Wow. You know, it's funny because I've been DJing in front of crowds like for a long time, since junior high school, okay? But there were moments that you do get a little nervous, and I would pick up my needles and I would be like...
shaking.
Yeah, shaking. What I always told rappers when they would ask me, hey, bro, I'm doing my first show, how do I do it? You know, they would ask me. I said, well, first of all, I'm not a rapper, but I'll tell you what I did as a DJ. I would not look at the crowd. I'd just look at the back of the room.
Yeah, I did that a lot. Yeah.
And that's how I did it. You know, there really isn't no trick, because you still got to go out there.
Yeah.
You know,
gotta face your fears.
You're going to get hecklers. You know, you're going to get people talking shit. You know, and it's funny because the people that talk shit are people that ain't doing shit.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you why. Because somebody that's winning doesn't have time to log in and talk shit about somebody that's trying to do something.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's why these comments don't bother me. I think they're hilarious.
I think they're hilarious too. I like them. And I'm cool with a lot of these people, because when you do other shows, I talk to all these people. We go back and forth. So.
That's dope. So now, what's the name of your album, your first album now?
That's the one, To Know Me is To Love Me.
To Know Me
That
is
was
To
the
Love Me.
first one.
How many songs did it have on there?
I believe 13.
Okay, 13. Okay, single. How did that do for you?
It did very well. It got I was even on the Lowrider magazine,
Really?
and that really sparked it up, because that's when Lowrider magazine was kicking ass.
Right.
It was everywhere. Even like all the homegirls and the homies inside the jails got them. And so, like, it just got everybody knew what was going on. Everybody knew, so that definitely opened up so many doors. And it was crazy. Right after that album was done, I remember I looked at Johnny and I was like, okay, so what are we doing next? And Johnny was like, that's it. I mean, that's it. And he was like, yeah. And he was like, yeah, now go ahead and fly. Do what you got to do, Like, he wanted me to kind of, like, pursue my own way. But I'm standing there like,
how do I do it?
What do I do? Yeah, like, what do I do now? So, luckily at this point, my boy Pete from a distribution, he's just like, hey, Dolly, you want to work on another album? I was like, yeah, man, like, what's up? We had a meeting. We talked about some things. I was like, all right, cool. So we got that going. And then I dropped my first compilation. And it's got a gang of people on there, too. And it did okay. It did all right. Not as like the album, but it did okay because it was just a comp. So they really quick just to kind of keep everything going.
Right.
And then right after that, there was this lady who I used to be friends with. And she wanted to drop an amazing album. She was going to put all this money behind this album. And she was going to take it to radio and everything. And she got Fingers to do the whole album.
Fingers will be the producer for, if I'm correct, was that Lean Like a Cholo?
Yeah, yeah, he did Lean Like a Cholo. And the for Brown Boy single also. It just, everybody was popping at that time. So he did the whole album. And mind you, that is a badass album. It is so good. It was hit after hit after hit. And we had a single called Do It Daddy. And it was featuring Baby Bash. And it was I remember being on the car driving towards Fresno. Yeah. And they were doing the top 5 at 5. Uh-huh. My song beat Bonnie and Clyde 03 of Jay-Z and Beyonce was number 1. I was like, whoa, for Fresno.
Right.
That was like, hell yeah. I remember going to Reno and hearing my single being bumped every 15 minutes on the way up there. I was like, shut it off already. Because, like, it was just crazy. But I remember that. So even T-Pain opened up before me in, I think it was in Bakersfield. My single was hotter than his right there. So it just the fact to say that I went through that was an amazing feeling. It was amazing feeling. And the sad thing in the middle that the people that I was involved with started letting me down.
Okay.
And which sucked because at that time I had an opportunity to grow because Power 106 was picking up Lean Like a Cholo and Brown Boy and all that stuff. They even picked our single up, but because of stupid little politics shit, it fucking flopped. And it was literally hater fucking politics shit. Yeah. That it flopped. And it pisses me out because I was like, dude, like, really, I was already there, homie. Like, I was fucking there and you, like, literally snatched that shit under me. And I think that's another thing that actually keeps me fucking going so hard. Yeah. Because when I used to show up to these people, like, well, where's your manager? And where's your other half? Because it was like a duet
album. Where's your agent or whatever?
Yeah, like, it was a duet album. So I was like, where's the other person that sings with you? I'm like, fuck, I don't know, unknown. They're like, well, where's your manager? Fucking, I don't know. Like, I showed up by myself. So all the good thing was because I still showed up and did all the shit for, like, a good few months, all those radio stations still always open their doors for me. Like, they know me, they love me, they give me mad love and everything, and they don't sweat nothing else because they know that I showed up and I did my part. Right. So that definitely was a game changer just to see how ugly people could get with one song. Like, literally, the song just blew up. It's not even there where it needs to be at. Right. Y'all already fucking around and just going your own separate ways and doing bullshit instead of working what we got to do. Right. So that was pretty messed up. But after that, I got back on my feet and I just started dropping next album, collabs, album, and
what producers were you working with those some of those albums? Can you name? Let me see.
Some names. I met. I'm trying to think. Okay, let's say Tony. Okay, so I started being with Tony. I worked with Tony G. I worked with Ali Hitman. I worked with Fingers, and I've worked with my homie Playboy, my homie Creator, Cricket. Trying to think. And right now, I just came across a new producer that I'm really feeling stuff. His name is AI, and I definitely want to get in contact and work with him. So it just kind of hearing them, my homie Lyric. I just like a lot of little friends and stuff, close people that I was with, started just helping me out and putting these songs together. I've been blessed, Tony, really, to do all this because this game is hard. Because I've been in and out of managements. Right. And I literally I've had maybe about 8 managers. Out of 8, 3 I kept cool with. Everybody else are straight fuckers, dude. Straight fuckers. You just want to eat their own. For real, like, yo, it's like, okay.
I love your honesty.
It's this shit because look, I have a plate right here and I'm gonna eat, but I'm gonna make sure I got like 4, make sure everybody gets a plate and we're all gonna eat together.
Thank you.
But when you sit down with my plate and you don't offer me my own shit, it's like, what the fuck? You know, and I had a very bad fucking situation with somebody like that. My Unleash album, it was a 25 songs, an amazing album. I had Bone Thugs on there, Roscoe. I had MC Magic. I got a song with MC Magic nobody knows about. Like, you know, because my album flopped. These people were so hungry to get paid off this album, marketers and managers, that they ate without me. My own shit. And they was like, yo, I paid for that whole shit. I paid for the features, I paid for the pressing, I paid for everything, and y'all just ate without me. Like, what the fuck, you know?
You know, that's why I encourage Raza, honestly, that we need to look out for each other, we need to support each other, and I'll tell you why. Because there's enough light, there's enough spotlight for all of us, there's enough money for all of us.
There is.
But you know what it is? You got some greedy motherfuckers that want it all. They want all the spotlight and they want all the money. I've never been like that. So it's hard for me to comprehend that.
Yeah, it is. It's very hard because that should just lit me up. I ain't gonna lie. That when that shit happened, I found out where they live and I knocked on the door and I made sure I got my check. We had to do what we had to do.
Yeah.
It's just, it comes down to it. It's like, I'm sorry, you know, because it was just to a point where it's not about, it's gonna cost me more to take you to fucking court.
Yes.
I'm just gonna go knock on your door.
That's it.
You know, straight up, because that's pretty fucked up. Like, I gave them everything, you know, to the point where they had access to all my shit. And when they have access to all my shit, it's because I'm trusting you with my shit. And they went and fucking fed themselves, they just fucking withdraw everything when I still had no clue how this shit was working. That shit damaged me. That fucked me up. You know, like I worked as hard as I fucking worked. So anyways, long story short, from there, I made more albums to this day. Now, you know, I'm on my own, no manager, no financial backup, no nothing. Like, I'm doing this shit by myself, and it's not easy because at the same time, you know, I am a mother and I'm going to school and I'm trying to record and clean and diaper. Like, I'm doing everything, you know, and so it's really hard. But I try to stay relevant as possible. I try to talk as much as I can on my Instagram. I'm starting to do more YouTube now. I do my homework late nights. And I tell everybody, there's been times where I fall asleep on my homework and I don't turn it in. And I fail the fucking class and I got to go back and do it again. Like, it's not fucking easy, but I'm trying to show everybody, like, don't say you can't do it, you know?
Don't say you can't do it.
Don't say you can't do it, because I'm living proof of this shit, man.
Yeah.
Like, you know, just so much shit going on, and, you know, trying to stay healthy at the same time and trying to stay focused is like the hardest shit ever. The hardest shit ever.
Now let me ask you this. With all these albums, you said you paid them. Did you actually pay the producers, or did
Yeah, no, I did. I did all that. Now, but then that's another thing too. Let's switch it back really fast. There was a couple of people, I do not want to mention names, where they kind of were trying to get close. They wanted something else for something, and I was just like, yo, I can't, like, what the fuck, you know? And then I started hearing shit about people who were actually doing shit like that, and I'm just like, what the fuck? Well, no wonder she's getting this and getting that. Well, you making it fucking hard for me, bitch. You know?
Exactly.
You opening your fucking legs, you're fucking it up for me, because I ain't trying to go there. I'm trying to fucking do my shit right, you know?
Right.
Which is kind of fucked up in this with females in this industry, you know what I mean?
Speak on it.
The fucked up thing about the females in the industry, because they do shit like that, they fuck around, they don't give a fuck, they're just trying to fucking get as high as they can, no matter what the fucking causes is. And then you got motherfuckers like me who are trying to do this shit right and come out of pocket and work hard and like sleepless nights and everything, and I'm stuck where I'm at. But I mean, I also know that I am where I am because I'm not just focused on my music 100 every day all day, which I wish I could do. But I still find some time for it. You know what I mean? Right. But it just, like I said, it saddens me when other females have to fuck shit up like that and make it harder on me. And then the people ask me, well, how come you don't dress more girly, this and that? Dude, like, how can I dress more feminine? Because every time I go somewhere, I don't want, oh, she showed up dressed like this because she wants that, or something. Like, that's just how I feel. Right. That's how I've always been a tomboy since day one. You know what I mean? And I dressed like a tomboy because I just wanted to cover up. I just didn't want to show anything because I didn't want nobody getting the wrong fucking idea.
Period.
Yeah.
Period. You know, I had this one girl tell me this, and believe me, it was kind of shameful, but she was honest, and she said, "It's not who you know, it's who you blow."
Yo, I've heard that shit, and you gotta sleep around with people to make shit happen. Like, why do you have to? There's gotta be other fucking ways, yo, you know? But I mean, I'm a big example of that because I decided to just do shit right. It's taking me some time, but I know that at the end of the day, after 16 years, people know who I am. They're probably not going all crazy over me, and I don't have long lines around the corner, but they know who I am, and I'm recognized for my fucking work. Yeah. You know, I put in work hard. I put in work like no other. And the day I knew that I was putting in work is when I had these male rappers coming to me asking me for advice. That's when I knew I made to a good point where I'm at. When they started asking me advice, getting calls from different rappers, oh, hey, this, that, you know, asking, because they know that I'm working hard and I'm trying to keep my shit G, you know? So today, I'm standing here on my own. I'm doing all my own shit. I got some really cool homies that are working with me to make, you know, my projects come true. And I'm really forever grateful for them.
What is your ultimate goal out of this? Do you just want to continue? Do you want to be a record label owner? I mean, what is your ultimate goal? Do you have one?
That's the thing about it. I do so many things. This is hard to me. I mean, my main goal right now definitely finish school. I want to finish school because I want to continue to do what I do and do, you know, work. I'm going right now to get my bachelor's in behavioral science. Okay. So I really like the mind, how it works and everything. And I want to be able to help people out there that are in trouble, been in trouble, or trying to stay away from trouble. And in my major, I could work with anybody from like prison to veterans to the youth to marriages to everything. To even people who actual criminals, you know, that maybe just want to change a mindset. And I mean, if I could help a criminal change his mind for nobody else to get hurt out there, why not? Of course. You know, why not? And but the music is never gonna go. I think right now I'm gonna try to do my rapping shit as much as I can, and as I get older, I'll probably just soften it up with like live bands or some shit, you know, like because I don't see it going anywhere. I don't want to walk away from it. I'm in too deep, too many years already. I know too many people, and it's just like it's my passion. And like I said, I think my dad definitely, I feel him around me, and he's giving me that push to make it happen. Dope.
Yeah. How many albums do you have total out?
I want to say about 13 albums. Really? 10 to 13 albums out. So nobody can say I'm not working. I got a fucking list of shit. I got a list of shit over 150 singles. I know I've been working.
Which one would you say is your favorite?
Damn, you know, I don't have one. I don't.
What about a favorite song or maybe a favorite top 3?
Favorite top 3. Oh my goodness.
You know what's funny?
Actually, I do have.
Go ahead.
My favorite one actually is gonna be the Bone Thugs and Harmony song because I was forever a Bone Thugs fan, forever. So the day that I got to meet and work with them, it was just like, I was actually starstruck because I was such a fan. I was just so excited to be there. I got to smoke with them, hang out with them. We structured together, everything. Like that was just unbelievable. And I want to re-release that song because I really feel like a lot of people haven't heard it. It's got a good amount of views on it, but if I could somehow get them to do a video or something, it'll be dope. That's definitely one goal I want to get out of my music. Dope.
It was funny because I caught Dr. Dre. The last conversation that I had with him was in 1991. They had just dropped that Chronic album, okay? And it had just dropped, so it wasn't like it exploded yet. Just dropped. People were buying it. So I just asked him. We were in the studio, and I asked him, what's your favorite song off of this record? And he goes, Little Ghetto Boy. And that's what it was. And it was funny because that was my favorite song.
Oh, was it? Oh, that's it was. The same one.
I just love the production on it. You know? Maybe it wasn't like a club track or a radio track, but it was a dope fucking track. So that's why I like to ask artists, what is your favorite songs? You know?
I would have to go with that one definitely because I was always a big fan of them.
Now, do you still do a lot of shows?
I haven't done any shows. I mean, I've done here and there. I've probably been doing maybe one show a month or something like that. Like the last 2 years since my last album was 2 years ago. So I get hit up from promoters, but like I said, at the same time, I don't have a booking agent. I don't have a manager. So anybody who wants me to come out to your shows, get at me directly because I'm doing all my shit. I'm booking everything myself, just so you guys know. But because I don't really, I know the business, but I mean, sometimes, again, being a female, when you reach out to these promoters, well, can you give me a deal and this and that? How about if you just drive there? And I'll be, no, I'm not going to do that, because I've been in the game so long, I know what the fuck I'm worth, whether I have a hit out or not right now. Like, I know what the fuck I'm worth. At least take care of a motherfucker so I can come out and do my shit.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And once they see me perform and everything, then they call me back. And that's always happened too. People will be like, "Oh, Dolly, whatever." But as soon as I get off the stage, "Oh man, you're dope." Like, "Oh, well, thank you. Should have been clapping when I was up there because I didn't see you moving. You were like this."
Exactly.
But I get off. "Oh, you're a dope." Well, fuck, man. Show some love. What the fuck? Starting with your damn arms crossed.
I love your attitude. So what can the public expect now from Dolly Girl? Do you have anything new coming out soon?
Yes.
Are you working on something?
Yes. Right now, I still don't want to. I'm not ready for an album yet. I don't think my heart's there yet. But I am working on visuals and singles. There's a couple of people you already had on your show that I want to work with. But again, it's just finding the time and the financial and everything to put all this together. Reason why I haven't collabed with anybody yet. So. Again, because I try not to ask people like for free stuff. Work is work.
Of course.
I want to get paid. I know people want to get paid. So definitely, I got to stack my cheddar to make that happen when it comes to beats and production and mix and mastering and the artists and everything. So, I'm working on that. But my goal is to have visuals every month. So I'm working one this month, and I'm crossing my fingers that everything goes good and I can drop one this month. Definitely more YouTubing. I might be doing more shows with AB writers, so you'll definitely see that this year. We're working a couple of things, and just to keep going, and I don't want to get signed. I'm not trying to get signed. No, I want to do my own thing my way.
The sad thing is trying to get a record deal today, you have better luck when hitting the lottery.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But your chances are way bigger.
Yeah.
But it's just, and like I tell everybody, like you just do it yourself. I mean, it's hard, yeah, especially you don't got the backing for it. But eventually, if you really want it and you're working hard for it, you'll make it happen.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how I ended up doing the rest of my music videos that just came out, but I made it happen.
I made it happen.
You know.
Dope. Okay. Well, listen, if there's anybody out there that you want to give a shout out, you want to tell people where they can hear your music or where they can reach you, or you want to give a shout out, now's the time.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, first and foremost, my family, for holding me down. My mom is my backbone. Like, my mom has seen it all. I've heard it all. She's seen it all to the time when she came home and she's just like, Can you do me a favor? Yeah, I don't want to see your name off the exit anymore, please. So, from that to phone calls from where, and just holding me down to this very day. Lord bless her soul. My mom has my back to the fullest. That's my number one right there. No matter what, she's never told me to get a job. She never told me to go to school. She never told me nothing. She just said, hustle.
Yeah.
Just hustle, do your thing. She's like, what I like is that she said, she goes, the day ever comes that it's her time to go, or whatever, like she goes, I know I can go in peace because I know you hustle hard and you'll always be fine.
Yes.
So shout out to her for holding me down like that. My family, my G-Files family, producers who've worked with me, my video guys that work with me, everybody who has patience with me, because y'all know I'm pretty hard to work with, but I come through. That's the thing. And then my word is gold. You know what I mean? My word is solid. I'm a solid motherfucker. I'm humble as fuck. I like to work with everybody, and thank you to you for letting me come here and tell my story. And we could go on for days, but at least I was able to get this much across.
Awesome.
All my haters, I love you guys. Keep it coming, and that's it. Let's see what happens from this point on.
Well, if there's anything that I can do, like I said, I want to help you. Okay.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
That's what this platform's for. And likewise for Luna, anything that I can do for her, I would like to open up the doors, open up this platform. Any way, shape, or form that I can help, I'm here for you guys.
No, thank you. I appreciate it.
So, once again, the Roadium MIXTAPE DOCUMIXERY at DOCUMIXERY.com. You can hear this podcast on obviously on YouTube, Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcast, and once again, we are going to set up a Patreon page where you can contribute and help us out with this platform, and also for the up and coming documentary that we're going to be working on still. Once again, let me go ahead and give a shout out to John motherfucking Elkins. I'm going to give a shout out to my boy Doc Nasty, my MC, Doc Nasty in the house. DG Media Clips, he'll be back next week. Actually Wednesday. Alex Cervantes Enterprise, my boy Misfit, I know he's probably watching. Once again, Dolly Girl, Luna, for stopping by. Much love and respect to them. Johnny, am I forgetting anything? No, we're good? Okay. Wednesday, you're not going to want to miss the show. Tell somebody. I'll go public with who I'm going to be interviewing this Wednesday. I'll give you guys a clue. okay, or who it's going to be. The biggest independent promoter in all of California. That's all I'm going to say, okay? I'll drop another hint. Uncle Snoop's Army, the biggest independent promoter in California, will be here Wednesday. I'll drop the flyer tomorrow. You guys will see exactly who it is. Thank everybody for all the negative comments. Thank everybody for all the positive comments. Keep it coming. We love you guys. Roadium Radio, hosted by me, Tony A. the Wizard. We out. Much love, much respect. Have a blessed night, and we'll see you guys Wednesday.